Okay, picture this. You're scrolling through your feed, and then boom, a headline that just makes you stop.
Like what?
Something shocking, maybe even scary.
Yeah.
But is it true, or is it just total BS?
That's the question, isn't it?
I mean, in this world where we're just drowning in information, knowing how to separate fact from fiction, that's more important than ever.
Absolutely.
You know, our listener, you're a learner.
Right.
You value your time. You want to get to the good stuff, to the insights. And today's deep dive is all about equipping you to be your own BS detector.
Love it.
So we're going to explore why misinformation thrives.
Yes.
We're going to give you a 5-step toolkit to spot it in the wild.
Ooh.
And then we're going to get into the emotional side of this because facts alone sometimes just, they're not enough.
Not at all.
So are you ready to upgrade your critical thinking skills?
Let's do it.
Let's dive in.
What's so fascinating to me is how much of this is rooted in basic human psychology.
Absolutely.
Once we understand that, then we can actually start to outsmart our own biases.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Why is BS so pervasive?
Well, it really preys on that natural desire for simplicity. You know, our brains, we crave patterns, we want easy answers.
Right.
We like stories that just confirm what we already believe, and BS offers us all of that.
Yeah.
Packaged up in a way that feels right.
I see what you mean, like those clickbait headlines that promise to reveal some shocking secret or like a quick fix for a really complex problem.
Exactly. And, you know, social media algorithms, they often amplify this problem because they prioritize engagement over accuracy.
Engagement over accuracy.
So sensationalized content, whether it's true or false, it spreads like wildfire.
It's almost like...
Studies show that misinformation spreads 6 times faster than truth online.
6 times faster.
6 times faster.
Whoa, that's alarming.
It is. It's like a virus.
Yeah.
Spreading from one person to the next.
And even when something's debunked, you know, that initial impression, it can linger.
Yeah.
It's like a cognitive shadow.
It's so true.
That's hard to shake off.
Yeah, this is known as the illusory truth effect.
Right.
Have you heard of that?
I know, yeah, the illusory truth effect.
Yeah.
So we've established that BS is everywhere. It spreads rapidly, and it can be incredibly sticky. Is this a new problem, though, or have we always kind of dealt with this?
Misinformation has always been with us. I mean, think about it. Snake oil salesmen, wartime propaganda.
Right.
Exploiting human psychology for gain is an age-old tactic.
Yeah.
What's different now is the sheer volume and speed at which misinformation can travel.
Because of the internet.
Thanks to the internet.
Yeah, the internet's like this megaphone amplifying both truth and lies on this just unprecedented scale.
It is.
So with all this BS flying around, how do we even begin to fight back?
We fight back with healthy skepticism.
Healthy skepticism.
Not cynicism,
Right.
but a willingness to question everything that we encounter online. It's about cultivating a critical eye and not just taking information at face value.
So less blind acceptance and more critical analysis.
Absolutely.
Okay, that sounds like a really good starting point.
Yeah.
But how do we actually put that into practice?
That is where our 5-step toolkit for detecting BS comes in.
Okay.
This is a mental arsenal for navigating this information minefield.
Ooh, I like it.
Are you ready to become a BS detective?
I'm ready. Let's do it. Okay, you've piqued my curiosity with this BS detecting toolkit. I want to hear more.
All right, let's dive into it. Step 1 is surprisingly simple.
Lay it on me.
Follow the money.
Follow the money, huh? That sounds like something out of like a detective movie.
It might, but it's incredibly effective. Just ask yourself who benefits if I believe this.
Okay.
Let's say you stumble upon a website promoting some miracle cure for hair loss.
Right?
The company selling that product, they clearly profit if you buy into their claims.
Right. So if there's a financial incentive behind the claim, approach it with a little bit of skepticism. Makes sense. What's next?
Step 2 is all about scrutinizing the source.
Oh.
Not all information is created equal.
Right.
A peer-reviewed study published in a reputable scientific journal carries significantly more weight
For sure.
than a random blog post.
Of course.
Or a tweet from some anonymous account.
Yeah, that makes sense because a scientific study that's gone through rigorous scrutiny by experts in the field, whereas a random online post could be based on hearsay,
Absolutely.
speculation, fabrication.
You got it.
Credentials matter.
They do, and be wary of so-called faked experts.
Oh, yeah.
These are individuals who might try to present themselves as authorities, but they actually lack genuine expertise in the area they're commenting on.
Gotcha. So always check those credentials.
Always.
Look for evidence of real knowledge.
Real experience.
So we've got to be discerning about where we get our information from.
Yes.
Okay, what's step 3?
Step 3, pay attention to the language being used.
Okay.
Look for specifics. Vague language and sweeping generalizations, those are often hallmarks of BS.
Okay.
Be suspicious of claims that use phrases like studies show or experts agree.
I see that all the time.
Right, but they don't cite specific sources.
It's like someone saying, everyone knows that this new diet will help you lose 10 pounds in a week.
Exactly.
Without providing any evidence or like who this everyone is.
Right, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence.
I like that.
Don't fall for vague pronouncements, demand specifics.
Okay, specifics are key.
What's next?
Step 4 is a crucial one.
Good.
Learning to spot logical fallacies.
Oh.
These are flaws in reasoning that can make a weak argument seem very convincing.
Okay.
They can be incredibly sneaky.
I bet.
And they often appeal to our emotions rather than our logic.
Logical fallacies sounds intimidating. Can you break it down for us?
Sure, there are many different types of logical fallacies.
Right.
But 3 common ones to watch out for are the straw man, ad hominem, and appeal to emotion. Got it. So let's start with straw man. What is that?
Okay, so the straw man fallacy misrepresents someone's argument to make it easier to attack.
So you're not really engaging with the actual argument.
No.
You're creating this distorted version.
Exactly. It's like setting up a flimsy scarecrow and pretending it's your opponent.
Right. And that's easy to knock down.
Exactly.
That seems kind of disingenuous.
It is, and it's a tactic often used in heated debates or online arguments to discredit an opponent's position without actually addressing their points.
So straw man arguments, red flag.
Red flag.
What about ad hominem?
Ad hominem is Latin for to the person.
Okay.
This fallacy attacks the person making the argument instead of the argument itself.
So it's getting personal.
It's a way of trying to discredit someone by attacking their character, their motives, or personal attributes, rather than engaging with their ideas.
So if someone criticizes a policy and then you just respond by insulting their appearance or making fun of their past mistakes, that's ad hominem.
That's ad hominem. You're trying to distract from the actual issue by making it personal.
Okay, ad hominem attacks, no go.
No go.
What about appeal to emotion?
Appeal to emotion fallacy uses strong emotions like fear, anger, or pity to persuade people to accept a claim without critical thinking.
I see this all the time in advertising.
All the time.
Like those commercials that try to scare you into buying a security system.
Oh, yeah.
By showing all this terrifying footage of burglaries.
Yes, playing on your fear rather than presenting any real evidence that their product is effective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we need to be wary of any argument that tries to manipulate our emotions instead of appealing to our reason.
Exactly. Learning to recognize logical fallacies is a crucial skill for any BS detector.
Okay.
Now, for the 5th and final step in our toolkit.
Hit me.
Verify. Verify, verify.
It's like a mantra for the digital age.
It means double-checking claims against reputable sources. Don't take anything at face value, especially when it comes to information you find online.
So if you see like a shocking statistic or a controversial claim, don't just share it blindly.
Yeah.
Do your own research.
Exactly. Check if reputable news outlets, scientific organizations, fact-checking websites have corroborated the information.
Cross-reference information from multiple sources to get a more comprehensive and accurate picture.
Absolutely. And if you can't verify something, it's best to just remain skeptical.
Yeah.
Remember, in the age of information overload, critical thinking is your most valuable asset.
Okay, so we've got our 5-step toolkit. Follow the money, consider the source, look for specifics, spot logical fallacies, and verify with evidence.
You got it.
That sounds like a solid plan for combating BS.
It is.
But let's get real for a second. Sometimes even when we know something is false, it can be hard to let go of those beliefs.
It's true.
Why is that?
That's a great point, and it leads us into this fascinating realm of the emotional side of misinformation. We're not purely rational beings.
Right.
Our emotions play a huge role in shaping what we believe and how we process information.
So we've got our BS detecting toolkit.
Yeah.
But facts alone aren't always enough.
Right.
Why do we sometimes cling to these beliefs even when they're demonstrably false?
Because we're not purely rational beings.
Okay.
Our emotions, they play a huge role in shaping what we believe and how we process information.
So it's not just about like being stubborn or refusing to admit we're wrong.
Right.
There's something deeper going on.
Absolutely. Think about confirmation bias.
Confirmation bias.
We tend to favor information that confirms our existing beliefs, even if those beliefs are flawed.
Yeah, it's like we're wearing these invisible filters that screen out anything that challenges our worldview.
Exactly.
I know confirmation bias all too well. It's like when you fall in love with a particular theory, and then you start seeing evidence for it everywhere, even if it's not really there.
Right. You become so focused on confirming your belief that you overlook any evidence to the contrary.
And this isn't just about intellectual laziness either.
No.
Admitting we're wrong can be emotionally uncomfortable.
It can shake our sense of identity and make us question our place in the world.
Our beliefs often become intertwined with our sense of self. So letting go of them can feel like we're losing a part of ourselves.
Precisely. And from an evolutionary perspective, this makes sense.
Oh, how so?
Well, in our early history, belonging to a group that was essential for survival,
right,
going against the tribe's beliefs could have meant ostracism,
yeah,
which posed a real threat to our well-being.
Right.
So we evolved to conform to the group's beliefs, even if they weren't necessarily accurate.
Wow. So our brains are still wired for these ancient survival instincts, even in the digital age.
It's true.
But if our emotions can lead us astray, how do we break free from that?
By cultivating intellectual humility.
Intellectual humility. What's that?
This means acknowledging that we don't have all the answers,
Okay.
that we're capable of being wrong, and that's okay.
So it's not about being wishy-washy or indecisive.
No.
It's about being open to new information.
Yeah.
And willing to change our minds when presented with compelling evidence.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that learning is a lifelong process, and being wrong is often a necessary step towards greater understanding.
I love that it shifts the focus from, am I right, to what am I missing?
Yes.
It's a much more empowering and intellectually curious approach.
Couldn't have said it better myself. True strength lies in our ability to adapt and evolve our thinking, not in clinging to outdated beliefs.
So we've talked about why BS is so pervasive. We've got our toolkit for detecting it. We've explored the emotional side of things.
Right.
But what's the big picture here?
The consequences of unchecked misinformation are enormous.
In what way?
It affects our individual choices, our relationships, our communities, and even our democracy.
It shapes how we understand the world and how we interact with each other.
It does.
In a world where misinformation spreads like wildfire, our ability to think critically and discern fact from fiction is more important than ever.
Absolutely.
It's not just about protecting ourselves from scams or manipulation.
No.
It's about safeguarding our shared reality and ensuring that we're making decisions based on accurate information.
Exactly. Every time we resist falling for misinformation, we're contributing to a healthier information ecosystem for everyone.
So it's like a ripple effect.
It is.
The more people who commit to truth-seeking and critical thinking, the less power BS has over us.
That's right.
That's a pretty inspiring thought.
It is, and it all starts with curiosity.
Curiosity.
Never stop questioning, never stop learning, and never be afraid to admit when you're wrong.
Well, there you have it, folks. We've learned why BS is so prevalent, equipped you with a 5-step toolkit to spot it.
Yes.
And explored how our emotions can sometimes cloud our judgment.
It's true.
But remember, you have the power to break free from those biases.
You do.
And become a more discerning consumer of information.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power, and in the age of information overload, critical thinking is your ultimate superpower.
So go forth, dear listeners, and be BS detecting champions. The world needs your sharp minds and discerning eyes. Until next time, stay curious, stay skeptical, and keep diving deep.